So these are the clips that I submitted for Reflection 2. In this video, I will be discussing how to do a box jump. In assessing the box jump, there are 3 methods I would use to assess my client's success in motor learning. The first one will be form, the second is error, and the last is accuracy. As I assess my client's form, I would first break down the movement of the jump. Part practice can be used when breaking down the steps of a box jump into 3 phases. There's the loading phase, the aerial phase, and the landing phase. And when practicing the jump, you can practice each of these phases separately, which is also known as blocked practice. So the second method that I also mentioned is error, and this will include a person's body mechanics. So after I've taught them how to do a proper jump, now it's time to practice it. Error can be assessed by looking at different parts of the body. The knee is one of them. If they jump and when they land, you notice some knee valgus, then that's a clear indication that they have some muscular weaknesses of the quad and hip, which need to be strengthened. We'll be paying attention to the utilization of the arm swing, and also during the landing phase, landing quietly, so that we can train our proprioceptors and our vestibular system. Everything that I mentioned prior is all in preparation for whole practice, and this leads me to the the third method I will be using to assess motor learning, which is accuracy. Accuracy is used synonymously with consistency. So if my client is able to properly replicate a proper jump, then I know that I can trust them when I introduce them to jumping on top of the box. When a person's in the acquisition stage of motor learning, this is also known as the cognitive phase or stage of motor learning. This person has to think about what their body is doing. So, are my knees bending? Am I extending my arms up? Am I landing quietly? These small things are what people are going to be paying attention to. But as they get better with the skill, just like walking, you wouldn't have to think about it. As you get better at this particular skill, in this case, the jump. Included in the cognitive stage, I would probably have the person I'm training perform an exercise where they close their eyes and they envision them taking themselves through the different phases of the jump. I'm trying to imagine, what are my knees doing, what are my arms doing, and then after they've done that, then I would have them perform it. And usually when I have a person jump onto a box after performing this imagination or cognitive phase, they are usually successful in jumping on top of, let's say, a 6-inch like box or even a curb. It's usually a good place to start before even introducing them to like a 26-inch box or like a 46-inch box. It's always good to start small and then work your way up. When the person is able to replicate and fix their own mistakes in terms of like jumping properly and landing properly, this is how you know they're in the associative phase. They're gonna be like, oh, this is how they know that this feels right, this movement feels right. And this is when we can introduce the box, because they don't have to think about jumping so much. Now they can focus on other external factors like the box and successfully jumping onto the box. It's during the autonomous phase where I can start implementing like different training routines, different workout programs, like circuit training. In the autonomous phase, there's minimal cognitive processing, so the person will exhibit less effort in thinking about how to jump. This is also known as constant practice because their form will stay the same rep after rep. We can implement random practice to help aid in retention of body mechanics of the jump. Random practice can include playing sports like volleyball or basketball, where jumping is included in the activity that they're doing. Random practice can also be a form of variable practice because the conditions of how a person jumps can change within a game. Let's say basketball, the game is always changing. You could be jumping off 1 foot, both feet. You could be landing on 1 foot, both feet. You know. Lastly, distributed practice is implemented when you stop playing the game, you go home, you go rest, you go play video games or something like that, and then the following day or maybe even the following week, when you have a basketball game, you know, this is like a big chunk of time in between practice sessions.